Hello everyone, welcome to the video. This is day 15 of JavaScript 30 challenge. So I have already opened the starter file. In today's video we are going to make something like this. So let's see the final output what we are going to make today. So we have something called input here. If we input some text here and click on the add item, it will add the item in the list. So our main purpose of today's video is adding this with this form. Also we should use local storage so that if we click the refresh button, it will not removed. Okay, so these are the main purpose. Also in this video we will explore event delegate at the end of the video. So let's start the video. In our starter code we have a div container. Inside our div container we have some list item and a form. So let's take this in our code first. So I'm taking this add item here. Query selector, sorry, and this list item. So I have taken these two list and form. Now let's make a array, empty array, that is items. So whatever I will input in add item input here will be added to these items, right? So let's add an event listener on these add items. Add items dot add event listener. The event listener will be submit and it will call a function add item. Okay, let's add this function. I will pass event here, and what I am going to do is take input from this constant input equal to I can use this dot query selector, something that has name equal to item, right? Let's check it. Now I'm checking it. What is it? So I have to add another function here so that it is not it actually prevent the refresh of the page. The function will be e dot prevent default. What prevent default does is it actually prevent the refresh of the page. Let's check the output again. So now you can see the input tag here. So I will take the value from this dot value. Let's check this again. Yes, the value is here. Now what I have to do is actually input the value to this list, right? So for this I'm going to call another function that is populate list, and inside the populate list I am going to add actually the okay, I'm here adding creating a object with the value items, constant items. No, I will not add any object, rather I will push the value to here, right? So items dot push, I will create a object inside this. The object will be name equal to input, and the I will create another one that is false. Okay, so this done will indicate that is it the checked or not. When I will make this, there is a checkbox, so it will indicate the value is checked or not. Okay, now I have to push this in items, also this list items, so that I can push the value to list. Okay, let's create another function called populate list, right? So I will take items and I will call it plate list. Okay, now what I have to do is run a loop on this and add all the item to this value. So plate list dot map, sorry, it will be plate list dot inner html equal to items dot map. Inside the map we have to take one item, and I'm taking the index of the item. Then I'm going to return something. What am I going to return? I'm going to return a list item. Inside the list item I'm going to push a checkbox also. Input type should be checkbox. Then I'm going to add a text that should be p. Should I like this? No, I should add a id here. That id will be I'm going to use this index here. Okay, so id will be items I, and for this I'm going to add a label. I will add the label after each label. Inside label I have to add for attribute and add the same thing inside for attribute. Also here should be the item name, so it should be item dot name, right? everything is fine. I'm just giving something data index here. It will be helpful for our code later. So everything is fine up to now. Inner HTML. Okay, now I have to join our output based on this. So let's check the output. Fish is added here, but nothing is adding here. So let's check what's wrong. Is our list item working? Let's check. Console log list items. UL plate is actually working. It is actually working. Now what is the problem? I think we should give a default value here. Let's add this. No, nothing is actually changing. What's wrong? Inner HTML. Okay, let's console log the inner HTML here. Let list dot inner HTML. Yes, it is actually working. So where is the problem? Let's the problem is actually here. We have used small letter here. So now if I run this, then yes, something is adding here, but why it is saying undefined? Because of this item dot text, but it should be item dot name, right? Let's try this again, and I'm adding here something. Yeah, now it is now working, right? As you can see, if I click here, it is checked. Okay, so now the another problem is when I'm refreshing this item or the page, the previous item is removed because it is not saved anywhere in our storage. Now what we have to do is use our local storage in that case. So let's add our local storage. When we are actually populating the list, we will add at the same time in the local storage. For this, I will call our local storage and set item. I will give it a name called items, and the value will be basically json.stringify. So I will actually stringify the object here. So stringify items. Let's check the output. I will go to the application, storage, local storage. So in our local storage, see, we have name fish and done equal to false, right? This one. But whenever actually I will refresh this is actually vanished because we are not actually loading anything from here. So let's load it. So I will load here. So I will again call local storage dot get item dot it should be items, but I will parse the JSON for getting the object. So what it will does, actually it will check the local storage first. If it get the local storage, then it will populate the item with this local storage. Otherwise it will actually get an empty array. Now I have to call the populate function, populate list function, and do the same thing whenever the page is loaded. Okay, now you can see when I actually refresh the page, it is visible, right? But there is a problem. If I checked it and refresh, the checked option is removed. Why? Because we have done something done equal to false, but when I checked, then done is not becoming true, right? So we have to do something so that done in our object done becomes true. For doing this, I'm adding an event listener on this list items. And call our toggle function, which is toggle checkbox. Okay, so I'm adding this to this list item. I could actually add our event listener to this UL, but why I did not actually this li list item, but why did not I actually add our event listener to this? Because when if I actually add a event listener to this list item, whenever I actually add new item, the event listener will not be applied to the new item. So this is actually event delegation. So I actually added the event listener to the parent so that every child can get that. So let's actually write the function. I'm passing the event here and console log the event. Let's check the event. Why it is not getting our input? It is not actually getting the input from our page. Let's check why. The problem is we have used list item. It should not be list item, it should be toggle checkbox, right? Now check it. Okay, so it is actually getting input from our local storage. Now everything is fine. So I have to check the event listener. So when I'm clicking, every time two different event actually occurring. So let's check the events by this. So every time we are clicking, the events are registering here. Let's actually not this, we should call e.target. So basically inside our UL we have a label and input, both are actually registering as our event. So we will actually take only the input, not the label, right? So if not e.target equal to input, then I will return, right? So now let's check. It is again not working, so I think I should use target. I can use here matches function and take this as an input inside the function. Now it should work. Yeah, it is now working. What I have to do is right now take this e.target inside a variable e.target equal to e.target, and I will take the data index. So I will take the data index from here, then e.target dot data index dataset dot index. Right, let's console log it. This is 0, this is 1. So now I have to actually add done equal to true. What is done? This done equal to true whenever I click this. So I have to do is items here data index dot done equal to, if it is true then it will be false, if it is false then it will be true. So I'm just negating this value. Now what I have to do is just copy this two line and add here. Now check. Okay, now if I click here and refresh, it is not removing. Right, now add something else. So there is another problem, like if I click it, it is actually adding the list item but not removing this field, right? So I have to actually reset this field. So how can I reset this? Whenever I add item, I should actually reset the field input dot reset. Let's check the field. It is not working. Actually the input was the input value, so I have to do this dot reset. Now yes, it is now working. So that's it for today. If you like the video, you can subscribe to my channel, and all the code I have written today will be in my GitHub repository. You can check the GitHub repository link from my description. Thank you. Thanks for watching.